Welcome back to Living Healthy. I'm your host, Dr. Phil. We're at the Inspired Insights segment, and with me today is Connie Jasinskis. Welcome to the show, Connie. Great to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Now, life's great today for everything you're doing. Wonderful person in the community, what you're doing, who you've become, but it wasn't always that way, was it?
No, back in 1997, I got some pretty bad news, and that was a cancer diagnosis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so not something that people want to hear from the doctor.
No.
And it changes life forever.
And how did you feel that day?
Really awful. Yeah. Now, I was working at the time, and as it happened, I went right back to work the next day. I had surgery and found out that day that I had breast cancer. Went right back to work, and one of the things I found, I noticed right away that when I was going back to work, I was working in a very public interface kind of job where I had to be pleasant to people, I had to greet people, I had to smile, and kind of be happy with them, even though I just had a cancer diagnosis. And I noticed right away when I was there doing that, I felt better. And when I went home and I had just me and the box of Kleenex, it wasn't so good. So
interesting.
Yeah, a little light bulb went off, and I said, you know what? I can probably just conjure up this smile and a little bit of laughter or a positive attitude and force myself into that way of thinking, and it actually worked really well. Yeah.
So yeah, it started off just awareness by accident and what you noticed initially in dealing with daily life. Yeah. And as you fought through the battle, it's what kept you going, I take it.
That's right. Well, we know a lot more now, I think, because this was a number of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We know a lot more now about the positive effects of humor and positive attitude on health and healing.
Right.
Back then it was not quite so well publicized or as easily accessible as it is now with things like laughter yoga clubs.
That's right.
And that sort of thing.
You got it.
So it was a self-discovery rather than me finding it in the literature or easily available to me, and so I decided I wanted to share that with other people because it works so well for me.
That's it. And it's very important. As you say, we used to laugh at that. Yeah. Literally, all the laughter meditation, those types of things. It's like, well, okay, it just didn't make sense to a lot of people. But like a lot of things, usually a great idea is going to be scoffed at first and then ridiculed, and then eventually it's taken as fact that it was always that way. And that's exactly where humor in relation to sickness has come that full circle here. So through your battle, I guess, how did things work out with fighting through the breast cancer since '97? Was there a surgery that was done at that time? Or,
yes, I had the full meal deal. I had surgery, I had lumpectomy, and then I had chemotherapy, and then I had radiation.
Right.
So by the time, and that's a pretty typical scenario for a lot of people going through breast cancer.
Right.
So by the end of it takes almost a year to get through the treatment. By the time you've gone through about 6 months of chemo, and then they give your body a little rest, and then you do the radiation.
Totally.
So it's almost a year by the time you're done the whole process.
It's a tough thing. It's certainly, you see, if it's not the breast cancer that can kill us, it's the treatment itself that can kill us.
The treatment's no fun.
You got it.
No, and some of the lingering after effects of treatment are problematic. I happen to be a member of a dragon boat team.
Exactly.
And we're all survivors, and we paddle together. It's a floating support group. We do a lot of laughing together. We don't sit around and talk about our breast cancer. We talk about getting stronger, about training, about having fun together. The group excels at potlucks and mutual support. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But you hit on something very important there, Connie. It's that it's instead of the Ain't It Awful club of everybody getting together complaining about where you've been, you get excited about where you're going and having fun doing it, and just that attitude of gratitude more than anything, isn't it?
Absolutely. And physical training and being stronger and more fit and more healthy, more physically active are all preventative for breast cancer reoccurrence.
Very much.
And anybody who's had breast cancer, the other little kicker of this disease is not just that the treatment's no fun, but when you're done, if you're someone who's had breast cancer, you're someone who's more likely to get breast cancer again.
So yeah, you really have to become very aware of what to do to prevent it. So yeah, a lot of lifestyle changes obviously that you made. Anything that you would share with the audience that has been really important for you? Or a number of things?
Yeah, I think being aware of the fact that it is that important. Yeah. I was physically active when I was diagnosed, so it was kind of a kick in the pants because you think, okay, I'm already healthy.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
I'm working out hours a week, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing all the right things, and yet I'm diagnosed with disease anyway.
Right.
So it's no guarantee that you're not going to get it. Sometimes it's just a genetic fact that it's going to happen to you, as my oncologist explained.
You got it.
But the fact is that you need to keep your life clean and healthy as much as you can within reason.
Give yourself the best chance, right?
Give yourself the best chance to not have to face it again.
That's right.
And some of our groups still deals with reoccurrence. Even though they are healthy, they're doing the best they can, they still have to cope with that. So we're there to support each other when that happens.
Right.
But really the discovery, I guess, is that it's a lifelong journey. It's something that we're all going to have to, as our group, cope with the rest of our life, is being vigilant, being as active as we can, eating a good healthy diet, all those things that's recommended just to give you the best shot.
And that attitude that goes with it.
It's all important.
It's all in the mindset,
especially getting through that year of treatment.
Totally.
I think a lot of people say that. And even our caregivers going through treatment would say the same thing. You come in with a positive attitude and you really do the most you can to keep yourself positive, it's easier to make that journey.
Oh, totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Attitude is everything, right? Change your attitude, you can change your life.
That's right. It's very powerful.
Beautiful. And it's certainly something I think back in the years when our Rotary Club used to organize the dragon boat races. Mm-hmm. One of the highest energy groups and most fun groups to spend any time with was the breaststrokes, the breaststroke cancer survivor women. And it was really a treat to be around that, because they brought such an incredible energy to the entire weekend.
Oh, and we just love whipping like high school teams.
We're
so much stronger than we were when we began. So now we'll go out there and race against a group of high school kids and beat them.
You got it. You're there on purpose.
So much fun. There's a lot of laughter there.
A lot of passion and purpose in that.
That's right.
And that's certainly one of the things I've noticed. Well, thank you very much, Connie. I really appreciate you sharing your story today. This is really helpful for a lot of people in the audience to understand where you're coming from and things that can help them.
It's my pleasure.
Excellent.
Thank you.
My pleasure. We'll be right back after the break.